That's a world-class whitetail right there. He just showed up daylight the other day on camera. I've never fought EHD around this area, but...
Dragos, he's coming around to the right. Don't move. Is it ground or is it like, do you want to use?
Well, hey guys, welcome back to another Monday show here at Midwest Whitetail. And as you just saw in the beginning there, we've got a pretty diverse one. Last week's show, Elwin Riegler shot his biggest deer ever at 213 inches. And before we move any further, thank you so much from all of us at Midwest Whitetail for all of the positive comments, taking the time to watch the episode. I know all of us, and Owen especially, appreciates the support. And as I mentioned, last week, a lot of success. On this week, 99% of things came together in multiple situations. We're gonna get a couple of updates, starting with Kaleb Greiner, who has been on some really big deer. Very few people out there grind as much as Kaleb does. And though it might seem like he spends all of his time in the woods, it's hard to appreciate how he spends the rest of his year working in the field, all of his other jobs, so that he has the hunting season free to hunt. Well, he's had some unfortunate news with EHD in his neck of the woods, so he's gonna give us an update on that and how he's going to proceed forward. Then we're gonna join Gavin Koterba and Tyler Behlmann, who took advantage of the first cold front of the year. October 14th, front rolled through, perfect conditions. Both guys are gonna dive into their setups, why they were there, and ultimately, you're gonna just have to stick around and see what happens. Though it might not be the way that we hoped it would have been, we wanted to bring it to you because there's always lessons, especially when things don't go right. So stick around, hope you guys can take some enjoyment out of that, learn something. And then finally, we're gonna wrap up things with Mike Reed, who's gonna give us an update on how his season's been going, some of the buck action that he's been seeing, and what we can expect moving forward. So again, appreciate you guys being here. Hope you're having a great season, and best of luck as we enter the back half of October. Hope you enjoy the show.
It's a dead deer.
Yeah.
It's gotta be a dead deer. Yeah. Yeah, that stinks. We should be able to see some.
It's one of them. I think it's OG. That's a world-class whitetail right there. We're gonna have to walk the whole creek now. Lucky could be dead. Dang, dude, this animal lived till 9.5 years old. He was the first mature deer that I had on this farm, and I was pretty eager to chase him this year. It's just sad how Mother Nature works, you know. So we're in here on the Lucky farm moving cameras around. Was hoping to get a read on these deer just because nothing's been showing up, and the last couple days Steve's texted me finding a couple dead deer from the road, and it's just making me sick to my stomach to think that EHD could have taken over and ruined the hunting season this year. I mean, look at the mess on this deer, dude. That's probably a 180-inch animal. It's a shame. Well, I got nothing left to say, dude. doe. I see it.
Yeah.
I think it's a doe. Can't think that that's lucky. What is that, 4 or 5? Oh, the carcass right. Walked up on our second buck. Dude, that's the buck we had on the public over there. This buck was alive 2 days ago. Holy crap, dude. Just everything's dead now. We just made a hot lap around this whole entire section, just following this creek around, and we found several dead deer. Super defeating, but I'm really hoping that this lucky deer can live up to his name and be lucky enough to make it through these conditions. I mean, we had a very big drought this year where I'm at, and then later rains, and it just hasn't gotten cold yet, so these deer are starting to die off now. I got a text from Steve yesterday, and even Steve found one from the road, so I have early muzzleloader coming up, and I mean, that's what we've done all this preparation, all this scouting for, and to see that we put all this work in for deer that are dead or potentially dead or missing for 2 months, it's a little defeating. So I'm gonna try and make a game plan. I need to call the DNR. Hopefully we can get a salvage tag and preserve this deer and put them up on the wall to just look at over the next few years. But I'm done with this interview. Alrighty. Thanks for watching. Well, it's been a little bit of a emotional roller coaster so far this year. Right off the rip, I found Lucky back, which was a major surprise. I gobbled up permission, knocked on a lot of doors, did a lot of scouting, and eventually I had a buck that I had a lot of history with. You guys just saw him, OG. The original gangster at the farm, a 9.5-year-old this year at the bare minimum. He was the first mature buck in the farm, and he was on camera on the 29th, and we found him 5-10 yards from that last camera that we had pictures of him. With the conditions that we had this year, we had a really bad case of EHD in the areas that I hunt, and over about a 15-mile stretch, I have a series of permission farms that I run cameras on, and I put a lot of boots on the ground the past couple weeks, and I found a lot of dead deer. Through all of this highs and lows, I've been fortunate enough to find another really big deer in this neighborhood, and it's been a little comical so far with this deer, you know, going in there the other day, having pictures of him 1.5 miles bedded. The last 2 nights, thinking that I had a game plan on where this deer beds, I go in there trying to get a vine to put a vine scrape up for this deer on a new permission farm, and sure enough, he's right there under that tree, the same tree that the vine was under, in its shade. So I put a lot of thought into it, and I'm hunting different terrain than I've ever hunted before. I'm hunting wide open territory, and in fact, some of the best bedding areas that I know of are where you would never think deer, especially deer of this caliber, would be bedding. Growing up in these flat areas, I have to believe that these deer are used to being in their beds within the first 15 to 30 minutes of daylight and not getting up, especially this time of year when they're not chasing does and looking for does. In the afternoons, they have to be getting up that last 15, 30 minutes of light. So I don't believe in deer being completely nocturnal, but I do believe that their bedding areas might just have so much cover. They will get up, move around a little bit throughout the day, reposition their beds if the winds change, but these bedding areas are so thick and so overlooked. I'm excited. You know, I was looking through my phone. I'm a little bit of a bonehead. I was looking through my phone yesterday, and I found a picture of this vendetta buck that I had on the Lucky Farm last year. I threw a camera out there after shotgun season over some corn because I was gonna have to be on leads all of late season, and sure enough, I had a picture of him, so that was interesting to see.
but I think I have a good shot with him. I think rut is probably going to be my best option or best time to kill this deer. But pheasant season's right around the corner, so who knows? Last year I played a big role in seeing Og Jr. So this weekend, when pheasant season opens up, deer should be getting kicked around. If you guys are making it out this weekend, it looks like really good temps. Good luck if you're out, and stay safe.
All right, it's October 14th, and we are back out on the public today. We had this second cold front of the year come through, and it's cooled down. It feels great out right now. It's overcast, as you can tell, but the pressure's going through the roof all day, and we've got a nice steady northwest wind blowing right in our face here. This is that same little area that we were hunting last week, back on that first cold front. We were in a tree not too far from here, and we're essentially just tucked up against this big willow thicket. These deer love bedding in this stuff, and there's those oak trees right off to my right here where they've been feeding a lot, so with any luck, we'll see one of these bucks tonight. The cameras have been super slow the past couple days with the low pressure and crappy weather. Basically just one of those deals where we're hoping to be the camera rather than getting the picture tonight. So we're in here, we're in the absolute thick of it. But it could pay off, you never know. So a couple trails come right in front of us here. We should have a decent shot as long as we can get away with it. Not the best front cover in front of us, but it'll work. So sitting here tonight, hopefully these deer want to come freshen these scrapes up and hit these acorns that we've got right in front of us, and hopefully we'll have a good sit tonight. Well, we've been set up about 45 minutes or so, but the more we got to looking at the setup, feeling it out, Dragos was just a little too exposed, and I didn't exactly have the best angle for shooting, being a left-handed shooter, so I kind of almost like switch spots where I've dropped back. I don't have any cover right next to me, but I do have this little like lip that I can kind of halfway hide behind and still have a couple decent shooting lanes, so it'll be tucked up real good against that tree there. And I think I'll be still able to get it done if it comes to it, so we'll see. It's the evening of October the 14th, and Justin and I are back up here on the partnership farm, back after Prince. He was in here 2 days ago in the evening. Just to the west of here, and we've actually made a little bit more of an aggressive move. There's some weather that's coming through, and as we speak, it's kind of working its way out. And we figured we better get a little bit closer to bedding. The wind was in our face on the way in. We got in very clean, and actually there's 3 deer that are bedded out in the field. As soon as we got in the redneck, I looked out the window and they were laying out there. So temperatures obviously are cooling off here in the Midwest. We're in. It feels good. see him over there? Yep. Well, that's good news. That's the deer we're near after. All these deer are starting to get up on their feet and funnel out just like we anticipated. And I had a lucky guess. He was bedded. He had to be bedded here close out here on the west side of the place, but we got plenty of daylight. Hopefully he feeds in here. Can you see him? No. Over the crest of the hill. That deer's framing. Yeah. Kind of walking away. Should I grunt at him? I mean, he got a hard northwest wind. I wouldn't want to. I don't know. That's your call. Just see what he does here. You really have to blast it to even do any good. Yeah. I would like to make them decoy does. There we go. God, he reminds me of Marty. You think I'm okay to leave this window open? Yeah. He's got some beams on him. Yeah. Come on, baby. Plenty of time. He gets down in there, maybe. Just a grunt or something. Like, do you want to use? Let's see what he does after this scrape here. Yeah. Snort, wheeze, or grunt. Just a little grunt, maybe. Let's just wait down. Maybe. We need to do it when he gets done here. Freak, maybe we can watch his language because we got this little hog back here, so he may not see on the other side of it. I think a snort wheeze. No. Just a grunt. I wouldn't get too aggressive yet. Now do it. Don't let that doze up. Okay, you should be good. Wait, he's clashing. Snort wheeze. He did. No, should I? No, because you haven't got his attention yet. He ain't heard that grunt. These does are looking at you over here. Okay. Okay, they're not more. He's just wait though. There we go. Okay. All right, again. He's definitely interested. Okay, go, bro. Just turn around there. Oh, he did that. He turned around. He's there to the tree. Is he in there? weird. I know. He's at 30. Okay. Take him. Oh no. Shot right underneath him at 30. Well, as much as I can beat myself up, mistakes happen. When he was coming up this, we lost him over the crown of that hill when he was coming up. I ranged a weed out here in front of me, was at 30, and then what I thought I ranged was a grass patch over here, and I clicked it 30 and picked up 30, but what happened was that the crown of the hill is what my rangefinder was picking up, and he was actually at like 42, 45 yards, somewhere in there. I put my 30-yard pin on him and shot under him, but the chase continues, As much as I can sit here and beat myself up and get mad about it, we just got to go to the drawing board. We'll let him be. He obviously knows something's up. Hopefully he settles back down in here, and as you could tell tonight, he was very comfortable. He's making his rounds around that field, making scrapes, and I can only hope that he just settles back in here and I get a second chance at him. But a beautiful buck, beautiful weather, and I could be really, really upset, but I could be in a lot worse place right now too. So Justin and I are going to go ahead and pack up and get out of here and just let things be, but hopefully we catch up to Prince soon. It's going to hurt a little bit. It'll hurt for a while, but that's why we do it. We'll be back. Dragos, he's coming around to the right. Don't move. I'm on him. You see him? I'm on him. he ran 30 yards and then he's like kind of hunched up and like just slowly walking.
I couldn't see him after the shot.
Yeah. He stopped like right over here at like 30 yards. And then he just like looked for a minute. And then he just slowly like walked off. Holy smokes, dude. Bro, he's big. He's big. Oh my gosh. I'm like feeling good, but also feeling really nervous, you know? I think it's just because it's dark that you're nervous, because we weren't able to see everything so clearly. Dude, 20 yards. 20 yards on the ground. Yeah. I don't know how it is. I mean, it was like 5 minutes before legal. I couldn't see where my arrow hit. It was through a little bit of grass.
So here's what I'm going to say off the rip. If you stop after 20, that's when I stepped and walked off, back up.
Yeah.
Don't even worry about it. Get out of there. It's liver at best.
Yeah, yeah.
Treat a worst case scenario.
Right.
Treat your liver gut.
Right.
Bro, you got in the belly of the beast.
Dude.
No.
Dude.
Hey, hold on. I do have to add. Weren't you going to go to the hay farm to take out?
Yeah, we were. Well, it is about 8 o'clock now, and we talked to Josh and Rye and just decided to leave everything there. We basically just packed up and left. Didn't go look for the arrow, didn't do anything. The last I saw him, he was probably 70 yards away and just slowly walking. But it sounded like it was a good hit. It sounded like a diaphragm type hit. Nice loud pop and everything. So we'll see. We're gonna go to Rise, I think, and take a look at it on the big screen and kind of make a decision from there. But we'll see you over there. No, because yeah, I remember seeing this on the screen. Like he ducks and there's like that little bit of.
Well, I mean, being honest, we're not gonna be able to tell anything off that, so.
Yeah.
Mystery. No, it doesn't help you, but
Not one bit.
the best part about anything is that you watched them. I mean, it sounds good. Like Rye said, I think we're just gonna have to go in there and take it slow. That's gonna be some hard stuff to track blood in.
Yeah.
The real reality is that we don't know. And,
When you don't know, what do? Play it safe.
yep.
Well, it's about 7:30 now, and Rye, Josh, and Dragos and I are back out on this public where we shot this big deer last night. It's been about 13 hours now total since the hit, and you know, at the end of the day, the footage just doesn't tell you much. Being on the ground with the canary grass as tall as it was, I mean, you just flat out can't see anything. So, you know, what the camera can't see after the shot is that he runs off about 20 or 30 yards and stops and looks back at us. You know, he never spooked or anything. He's just looking back. And then from there on, he kind of hunched up, slowly like half limped off. Last I saw him, he's probably 70 yards away or so. So we're gonna go back and look at the arrow and kind of go from there. But
Yeah, when we started talking about it, a couple of things to address. Number one, the camera angle, though you can't see it with the canary grass. Dragos is on the ground filming, Gavin's in the air. So
Yeah.
Gavin did not just send an arrow through a bunch of grass and hope.
it stood up.
He had a clear shot. Two, you know, this deer runs off, and according to Gavin, you know, first question you start asking is, well, what's the body language? And frankly, filming hunts, this is the best thing. We can always make good decisions based on the film, but in this situation, we're pretty much just like every other hunter out there who thinks they know what happened and they recollect, but the memory never serves you that well, right? So our plan is go to the arrow, try to read the blood, but the body language already told us more than we need to know. So the second spot we're gonna check is where this deer stopped. Hopefully there's a pool of blood there. Hopefully there's some bubbles in it. Hopefully it's a better hit than we think. But at the end of the day, in Iowa, it's now legal to call a tracking dog for, you know, for help. And what I've told Gavin and recommended is if we go and confirm essentially what we think, which is going to be a liver or gut shot based on the hunched up behavior, walking off slow, I mean, we're really going to just go find his arrow and leave.
Play it safe, yeah.
At the end of the day, it's a resource. And if you can tell, not exactly the place you want to be dealing with a liver or gut shot deer.
No.
It's why the bucks are here.
Right.
But it's also going to make recovering them, you know, pretty touchy. So
very difficult.
You know, at the end of the day, you can't control the shot. You can't control how you handle it afterwards.
Yeah.
And these guys have made every decision correct. So hopefully we go learn some better information.
Yeah.
But at the end of the day, one goal: recover your biggest buck ever.
That is the goal. So let's go try to find him.
Check that arrow out.
Yeah. Well, we're a little sweaty now, but we've made it up here. I'm standing right where I shot him, basically. Back behind me is that kind of crooked tree where he came up from behind. Shot him right there in that little opening, and he ran up. I can see that hole, basically where he stopped.
How far did you shoot before?
20 yards, 20 to that tree.
So he's probably 25, 26. That might explain why we think it's low. See how past you. Even if it was full guts like we hoped, this would have grist. You know, it's just like a terror smell.
Oily.
Mm-hmm. There's nothing.
I don't know.
I'm not trying to discourage you. I mean, if anything, this is good because you should live from that. Do you know what I'm saying?
Well, it's about 1 o'clock, a little after 1, and we're headed back to the public for the second time today. So got a hold of a tracker, and you know, he seemed fairly optimistic about it, between, you know, sending him a clip of the shot, hearing my description of how the deer behaved after the shot, and all these things combined. So by the time we get down there, it'll be just under 20 hours in, and so you know, I feel like we've got plenty of time under our belt at this point. Just gonna have to see. So here we go. Stop up just a minute, and then kind of puts this way. Well, it's about 5 o'clock now. We tracked for a solid 2.5 hours, I think. And first of all, Allie did a great job. It was fun to watch her work, but you know, we went in a couple circles and actually put on quite a bit of steps by the end of it, but didn't turn up anything, not a drop of blood, which is just super surprising. And you never know, they can close up pretty quick. If it was a shot that was fairly back, you know, they don't tend to bleed quite as much. Definitely feeling not great. I came into this track feeling a little more optimistic, but that's how it goes, I guess. You know, there's a lot to learn at the end of the day, but you know, going forward, we're just gonna hope that he shows up on camera. You know, I feel fairly confident that he will. You know, after that, if he doesn't in the next couple of days, probably plan to come back out and continue to search some more. So we'll see what the next few days bring. Well, I hope you guys have been enjoying the show so far. First off, I just wanted to say a big thank you to all the support for Owen's kill last week with the Loch Ness video. It was an awesome one to put together, and couldn't be happier for Owen. There's no one more deserving than him, but this week is obviously a little bit different, and You know, it's been pretty demoralizing since all that went down. It is October 23rd today, and last night, sure enough, we ended up getting a picture of that deer in daylight. He looks just fine. Got actually a few different pictures of him, and he looks like he's walking around doing well. But the chase continues. I'm super excited to get back after him. We talked about it quite a bit on the After Hours podcast a few days ago, but there's quite a few takeaways. You know, first and foremost, our scouting really paid off in that situation. You know, it's a spot that I've known about for a couple years. Didn't hunt it last year, just hunting that bigger deer on that other piece of public. Either way, between all the scouting that we had done in the previous years up to this point, scouting it over the summer and everything, it really paid off, knowing that area, knowing where deer travel, and it put us in the position to get a shot. So, and you know, on the note of it being a lower light shot, I don't think that it was necessarily a bad shot that I took. I would have done it again. However, I feel like we could have done more to prepare for that, in the fact that I only ranged that one tree that he ended up being behind, misjudged the situation because of it being low light, assuming he was right there and assuming that there wasn't that much of a distance. You know, all these different things can kind of become exacerbated when it's lower light and you're not able to tell that, oh, he's a little bit further back. Definitely a good point to take away there. It's just really make sure to range all your different options, taking the time to do that diligence and make sure that you are covered on all bases, because you never know at the end of the day where that deer is going to go, and that was the case in this hunt. So after the shot, I think we played our cards as best as we could. You know, I was able to watch him for a good distance and tell that it wasn't the greatest shot from the fact that he wasn't running off like they do when they're normally lung hit or something like that. And being able to call somebody, Josh and Rye specifically, and talk them through what exactly I saw, what exactly the scenario was just a great thing to have. You know, if you're able to always try to talk to somebody, because in that moment, me specifically, I get really amped up. You're always full of emotions, you're full of adrenaline, and it's easy to make a wrong move, go in right away and pursue that animal, versus taking a step back, assessing the situation and going from there. So really appreciated their advice. We were able to make a great decision from there, wait till the next day, and basically make a decision once we were able to get up to that arrow the next day. You know, from there, we ended up taking advantage of the law in Iowa where you can now get a tracking dog to help you out, and can't thank the owner and his dog Allie enough for that opportunity, for them to come all the way out there, trudge through the public land, and work on recovering that deer. At the end of the day, we weren't able to find a single drop of blood, a single bed, anything. And that led us to the reality that he was most likely alive at that point. And sure enough, after a few days, he showed up like I mentioned. It's super relieving knowing that he is still alive and that I can continue chasing him, hopefully be able to get the job done. And I think within these next few days, with this awesome weather coming up, that we have that opportunity. So couldn't be more thankful again for the team around me. It's such a blessing to have all the guys, and it's just an awesome group you get to be a part of. So going forward, we're gonna be, like I said, after this deer. He's definitely still in there. He lives in that area, and I'm super excited to keep chasing him. So, but again, really appreciate you guys following along. I hope this is a story that we can close. If we're able to get out in the stand, we've got some great weather coming up, and good luck to you.
Well, it's October 22nd, the afternoon here on Sunday, and Dragos and I are down here at the River Bottom Farm. A little bit of a bummer for Gavin and Tyler. You know, it's bow hunting, it happens, but situationally, it's stuff that we try to learn from, certainly. Put a lot of work in, a lot of effort in, and sometimes that's how things go, but I know Tyler's buck's alive and well, and hopefully Gavin shows up soon. Looking forward, my favorite time of year is coming up. It's the last week of October. The reason I love it so much, it's, you know, pre-rut. There's not many does in estrus. The very first ones are just starting to pop into estrus, and those mature bucks, particularly the homebody ones, they're looking for those first does. They tend to be callable that time of year, so it's a time where I do some blind calling, and you know, tend to get good responses from these bucks that are more aggressive. Interesting to see Tyler's hunt, you know, and that was a perfect example. I've had friends rattle in bucks in mid-October. I've had friends grunt grunt deer in at the beginning of October, but you know, a lot of times early like that, you're reading their body language, and you know, that deer was clearly feeling it. He's acting a little bit aggressive, working scrapes, and what a perfect opportunity, perfect example to be able to call a deer in like that with some light grunts. And that's one of the things I look so forward to this last week of October, is just the callability and sort of that fun aspect of hunting. So last weekend I went down to Utah, went out west for my brother's wedding, had a great time, brought the kids out there, rented an RV, went to the Grand Canyon and Monument Valley, and just spent 3 or 4 days out there. And then hadn't really hunted for about 10 days and gotten this blind Friday night. So we've hunted Friday night, Saturday morning, then today, Sunday afternoon, and we've had some good sits. Saw 20 deer on Friday, 1 4-year-old buck, and then yesterday morning had a great hunt in the pinch, starting to see some light activity from some of the 4-year-olds, kind of nudging does and grunting, and so a little window into what's to come. I've got a couple days off at the end of this coming week, which ties in really nicely with this weather front. I'm going to have Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday to hunt, and then I've got a couple more days that second weekend and a couple more days the week after that. So looking to get in the woods, you know, 12 to 15 days over these next 3 weeks, and hopefully we can have some luck and catch up with DK. There's a few other bucks out here I have my eye on, but DK is certainly going to be the primary target. I'm going to keep strategizing on him, and hopefully he slips up here soon. As always, we appreciate you guys watching. If you're out there, good luck and stay safe, and we'll see you back next week.